All right.
Can we talk about how offensive it is that you're wearing a Lords of Atlantis t-shirt right now? Yeah.
Got to represent
Represent what?
the Atlanta
Yeah, yeah.
old school Magic the Gathering group.
It's a nice t-shirt. God damn it.
Welcome everybody, and this is episode 8 of The Bottomless Vault. My name is Andy Vaccaro, and joining me is Jared Susney. And today we have another guest on our show, the recent champion of the Kumite 2025 tournament, Danny K. Hey, Danny.
Hey, what's going on?
How are you?
It is so good to have you.
I'm good.
I
I have
had.
the belt if you guys want to see it.
Ooh.
Kumite belt.
Let's take a quick
What do you
look at
got?
that.
Oh, whoa.
It's a champion's belt.
Wow.
So the winner of the Kumite every year gets the champion's belt. And you got to carry it around with you for a year. Any tournament you go to, you got to bring it. You go to the grocery store, you got to bring it. The gym, you got to bring it. You got to wear it everywhere.
Danny, is it like the Premier League like trophy? Like do they like as you're winning, are they engraving your name on?
No.
Oh, okay.
So I get it for a year, and then the winner of next year's tournament will get it.
Yeah.
The winner of last year was Jaco, so he brought it back, and then he had to hand it over to me.
But
Jaco.
you don't have your. There's no names on it. You just carry it around.
Carry it around. Yeah.
Do you get looks when you go?
Any, like swimsuit photos, like with
Yeah, well, it's funny you mentioned that because we have a play mat. The Michigan guys have a play mat where we're all shirtless and flexing. So this year we're going to do another one, and I'll have to wear the belt. And,
Do you when you go to the grocery store, the corner store, the 7-Eleven, wearing the belts? Do you get looks? Like, who is this guy?
Not really. I live in a pretty hipster area, so I think people walking around in ridiculous outfits is just kind of normal.
Yeah, it's like this is fine. Whatever's happening here, it's fine.
It doesn't draw a lot of attention.
Yeah.
You might be on the cutting edge of fashion. Who knows?
Yeah. It could be some new thing like grunge, but with a giant belt.
Right.
I feel like it'd be like a great compliment for someone like behind you in the grocery store to tap you on the shoulder when you have the belt on and just be like, "Hey, dude, like, what'd you win?"
Some guy actually asked me if it was a Chaos Orb.
So he knew the art on it.
Yeah.
And he knew enough to ask you.
Really?
Yeah.
No way. That's awesome.
But that was like all he asked. I was like, yeah, man. I thought he was like gonna, ask more questions. He just wanted to know if it was a Chaos Orb. He didn't actually.
And then he ended the conversation and walked away.
Yeah, pretty much. Got in the truck and drove off.
I feel like that was a missed opportunity.
Well, see you later.
Kumite champion, huh? Oh, okay.
Yeah.
See you later.
He was like, all right, cool. Yeah.
That's hilarious.
Yeah.
So for the listeners that are on this podcast and don't know what the Kumite tournament, why don't you tell us a little bit about what the Kumite tournament is all about, and just to give us some info.
Where is it? What group hosts it?
Sure.
How long has this been going on for? Give us all the information because we're not going to provide it for you. You lazy bastard.
So I didn't know you guys actually had listeners.
Yeah, well, we might have 2 or 3.
Hey, Danny.
You got to start somewhere.
All right. So the Kumite is a yearly tournament. It's done in Jackson, Michigan. So Jackson is kind of smack dab in the middle of the state. Is kind of the best way I can describe it. I live pretty close to Detroit. I live in a place called Ferndale, and it's about like a mile and a half from Detroit. So for me, it's like an hour and a half drive.
How's the drinking water?
It's fine in my neighborhood.
Right.
Okay.
Yeah. So this hosted in Jackson by the Knights Templar, and there's there's only really two old school groups that I know of. It's the Librarians of Lang and the Knights Templar, Michigan. So the Librarians of Lang, that Shaman Ben's group, they're Detroit guys, or suburban Detroit guys, and then this Jackson group, the Knights Templar. They kind of represent like Central Michigan, and people from some people from up north come down, people from Grand Rapids, Traverse City area, that kind of thing. People come in from across the Midwest. We get a lot of guys from Chicago, get a lot of guys from Pennsylvania. Unfortunately, we get a lot of guys from Ohio too.
Oh God!
Yeah, we try to keep them out, but
Well,
we get some guys from Kentucky, Tennessee.
Just tell them it's a no meth event and they won't show up.
Wow.
No,
So you get a good amount of people from the surrounding areas to show up.
Right.
Yeah, I'd say about half are from Michigan and about the other half are from somewhere else. We had Pez come out one year. And
Pez!
Yeah. I don't know where he was coming from. I think he was coming from...
I think he might have been still in Pennsylvania at that point.
Pez always comes from the netherworld.
Yeah. He
Right.
won it a couple years ago. He won the COVID Cup. We had it in 2021 in person.
Smart move.
There were only 4 people there?
No, there were like 70 people.
I'm kidding.
And like everybody
All packed into a to a small room.
So just to add context, Danny, like this is Kumite 8, right?
Yep.
Yeah.
I've been in it since Kumite 2 was the first one I had.
Since Kumite 2, okay. So like, yeah, I mean this is like an annual thing. So like this is a bona fide event. Like this is not not a new thing.
Yeah.
It's been going on.
No, it's been going on for a while. We used to always do it at this place called Grand River Brewery in Jackson, and that's where Kumite 1 through like 6 were held. I guess there was one in there somewhere. 2020 we did remotely. We did like an online tournament.
Sure.
Mm-hmm.
But the other ones were all at Grand River, and it was a great venue. They gave us like their event room. They had great food. They had great beer. Everybody had a good time, but they increasingly wanted more out of us for hosting there.
Really?
At first, it was just like, yeah, whatever, sure. And then it was like, you guys have to do a small guarantee. And this year they wanted like a bar guarantee. Like we had to guarantee like $2,000 in food sales, liquor not counted or something. And
For 80 fucking people?
Yeah.
Fuck you. That seems a little shitty, I think.
Yeah.
Wait, 8?
So,
Wow, that's
yeah. So it was not going to happen. So we had to look for another venue. So last year we did it at a brewery called Iron Bark, and that was cool. It was also a brewery, good venue. The problem was it's fucking tiny. This place is minuscule. This place is like the size of this room, and not sweaty dudes. Yeah, a bunch of sweaty dudes.
Yeah.
Trying to play, and like literally, like we're 4 to a table, like jammed up against each other. Like we can't move our elbows, like you're holding the cards, like trying to figure out. It was terrible. It was a great venue, but it was a terrible space.
Yeah.
So basically, the choice was either we host it there again and invite like 30 people, or find somewhere else. So that's how we found this Polish National Hall, which is where we had it this year, and we capped it at 64 because we didn't. That's kind of
sure,
but.
It's a good number.
I don't think we actually had to have a cap because this place was huge. It could have hosted everybody. It was kind of like like a Knights of Columbus Hall type venue.
Yeah, but still though, like in terms of like event sizes, like 64 was a real nice like sweet spot. Like if like other people wanted to come, maybe you could push it to like 72 or something like that. But like given the
you don't want to get much more than that. Like then you're at 80, and then it's
the size of the space, even if they can accommodate, like, because it just becomes like too much. So like 64 is like that's a beautiful number.
Yeah, I mean, there's always some people that don't show up that something comes up day of or whatever. So we probably should have had it open to more.
We
But
call those people scumbags, but yeah.
yeah, yeah.
Yeah. So how many did you
event?
guys end up getting this year?
I think it was 56.
Okay.
Perfect. It's beautiful.
And basically, the rules are Eternal Central rules with one difference, and that's that the guild houses from Legends
Right.
tap for mana and are basic lands.
So that means
They're
not. You can have only four of them.
The banning lands from Legends.
Yeah.
Danny's referring to Adventurers Guild House. All the banning lands from Legends, like Seafarers K, ad nauseum. Yeah, they tap.
Yeah,
for
that
mana.
whole cycle.
Yeah,
And
that's
you're
awesome.
allowed four of them, four each,
You can play as many as you
as
want.
many as one. So they're basic lands.
Really?
Basic
Okay.
lands, yeah. I think there was one guy that all his forests were Adventurers Guild House.
They did a Neos thing. I think like fall of last year, where they did the same kind of thing, Danny. So like a ton of people bought those things, and it
Like
still
the
created literally no spike.
They went from like $2 to $2.50.
Well, I'm not surprised. What are you going to do with them unless it's something weird like this?
What a crime though, in an overcosted fucking set that they just couldn't just put a mana symbol on those shitting things. Plus banding, but it's great that people are doing that in events though, because it's so flavorful, and like the art on those cards is great, and they're
Yeah, the
super
art's
cool.
amazing. Like it's typical old school thing where the card is like absolute dog shit.
How long have you? Is this a new thing just for this year, or have you guys been doing that
every year
since
That's
its
awesome.
inception?
Yeah, it's a thing.
Okay. I wonder, have you've been to almost every one? Have you seen a combo with like or something with banding that like kind of is good with any of the legends? I'm just trying to.
Ability has ever come out.
Nothing has come out, right?
Do any of the legends from Legends have banding?
Yeah, so, like the white blue legend has been, but it's you're still only.
What Andy? The what?
I think her name is Ayasha Takanashi or something. I don't know.
Oh, that's so bad.
It's so bad.
What's your job?
To record the podcast. Anyway, you're still limited to only one legend each, so I guess it's still bad.
It's not good. It's not good. And it removes banding from the legends, so it's really only a defensive. It doesn't give the.
Oh, it doesn't give banding. No, are you serious?
Yeah.
No,
it gives banding.
It gives banding to creatures of the color.
No, it gives banding to like the green one gives banding to all the green legends.
I don't think I've ever seen anybody use banding in old school.
Well, I mean, DFB used to use a lot of. I don't know if he still uses Timberwolves, but it's a thing.
Okay. I don't think I've ever seen it. I can't recall it ever.
White weenie, maybe a little bit. I don't know.
If it get banning to legends sucks, but like just giving it the capacity to tap for mana is good. I can't imagine.
No, banning to legends is not bad. It's just that you have so little legends that even if you were to put
you have oodles of legends. You just
don't have.
good
You can
ones to
only
band
use one
together.
legend, like at a time. So let's say I want to make a green deck.
Andy, what the fuck are you talking about? You build a Jund deck, you put Zero Aryan and fucking like Aiden Oakenshield in it. Like, what are you even talking about right now?
Right, but then your whole deck is you have mana issues. It's not feasible.
It's not a good strategy.
But if somehow, some way, I don't know.
In some joke tournament, I once ran Bot Fellow Legends, and it was atrocious even by.
It's
like
so
whatever.
it's so bad.
Yeah, it's really
Like
bad.
there's no way.
They're all overcosted. They're all underpowered.
One
they all don't really do anything.
One blood moon, and it's over. I mean, the best legends are what? The best legends are Bartel Runax, maybe.
No, the best legends.
The things that come to the top of my mind are Bartel
Solkanar.
Runax.
Solkanar is the best legend.
Solkanar, yeah, okay. I like Jacques Levert. I think he's pretty well costed. He's only 4. Bartel Runax we mentioned.
Bartel Zero Arian only because she draws you a card, but she's
Zero Arian's not bad. Yeah, she's flying, and
so 1/2 flying for 3
that draws you a card. It's not terrible.
Yeah.
You have to pay 3 to draw a card.
Aiden Oakenshield, who's in the same colors.
Aiden Oakenshield is pretty decent.
Yeah, you can bring a creature back from your graveyards for red, black, green, if I remember correctly, and tap. But again, he's also very weak.
The guy who his name is escaping me that creates Sand Warrior tokens. What's his name?
Hazes
on Tamar. Yeah, he's not bad, but he's expensive. And I think that's about it.
No, like
I can't think of anybody. The
Gwendolyn.
Yeah, Gwendolyn is good.
Yeah.
She's good.
No. Actually, in the Grixis colors, to use the parlance of our times,
she might be better than Solkanar. Actually,
debatable, but in the Grixis colors, you do get Gwendolyn, Solkanar, and
the guy that taps, the Royal Assassin.
Tetsuo
Umezaki. Umezawa. But even if you put all 3 of those out, you could only have one of them out at the same time. And what are you going to do with banding? Like, you're not going to band them to attack.
I can't believe we've now talked about this for 5 fucking minutes. Yeah, the ability is terrible, but the fact that they tap for mana is sweet because the legends are sweet. And I'll tell you what, Seafarers K, the blue one, is one of the best. The art on that card, Tom Weinerstrand, who also did like Royal Assassin, gas. Beautiful, beautiful card. It's a shame you never see it.
The Falconer actually is not bad either. Now that you're the one that produces Falconer? 2, yeah, it's a Sinister Falconer. Yeah. I think he's 4/4, and he's also a Soul Ring. That guy's not terrible.
Not terrible, but you're still it's a small pool, right?
Yeah.
And the card you couldn't remember is Aisha Tanaka.
Yeah, Aisha Tanaka. She has banding.
Yeah, embarrassing though. Like, could you please pull it together when we do these things?
Sorry.
Please.
So, I mean, basically, it's an old school tournament.
So no other rule. That's the only rule. It's different. Okay.
That's been the same throughout every Kumite game. You're playing the same format. Like that's awesome though. Like consistency is good.
Yeah, I don't think this is the kind of crowd that would tolerate
change.
Right.
We always donate to any old school tournament. It's done for, at least I think almost any of them are done for a charity.
Right.
So we donated to Cascades Humane Society, animal shelter.
Okay.
And I think we pulled in like $1,500.
Nice.
It was pretty solid for something like this. So one of the challenges was this. The other venues we've been at, the 2 breweries, both have beer and food. This place we were doing it at had neither. It had a bar, and we could rent a bartender, but it didn't have
no food,
no beer.
Oh.
So we brought in some kegs, and we ordered a bunch of pizzas, and then it was kind of the beers. We couldn't do a direct cash exchange, because we're not a bar ourselves. So you could pay $5 to buy a Squire.
Yeah, sure.
And then you could trade that Squire in. The Squire card from the dark. Then you could trade that Squire in for a beer. So that's how we got around that. And the pizza we just brought in, Paul Ferrero ordered a bunch of pizzas, and basically it was like if you eat some pizza, throw some money in. And I think most people, were pretty honest with it. You threw like $10, $15 in.
I'm still bent about the fact that, like, you said the first venue you used You were there for the first six years.
Yeah, five
Yeah,
years. Because
5
there's 1 year we
years.
did it virtually.
And then they tried to like maximize value off you, even though you're running a charity event.
Yep. Yeah, it was real shitty.
Can everyone who listens to this podcast fucking 1-star these people on Google? Like that's the shittiest thing I've ever heard in my entire life.
It was pretty crappy, and they wouldn't work with us. You know, we tried to like negotiate. You know, like can we meet them halfway? And they were just like, nope.
Can you repeat the name of this place, Danny?
Grand River Brewery.
Yeah, whoever listens to this, 1-star the fuck out of these people. That is embarrassing.
Yeah, I don't get it. Like usually old school gatherings, like they spend more than their average customer on alcohol alone.
Oh yeah,
so.
definitely. And we ran out of beer at this thing, and we were just like,
Right.
And like by round like 3.
They're like, sorry.
Well, we got like a bottle of Sambuca. And,
that's all we got.
I mean, Paul Ferrer also brought in a bunch of liquor. We were selling shots too, so you could also get shots. And,
you gotta give them a heads up next year. Like, hey, you remember us? You ran out of beer or you ran out of alcohol. Let's just order some more so it doesn't happen.
I don't know why they wouldn't work with us, and we're also doing it like a fucking Sunday afternoon. Like, yeah, people are in there, but it's not like it's like mobbed. You know, it's not like we're trying to take a Friday night off them.
And they probably don't need to close the place down for it, right? Yeah, that's so shitty. That's not even imagine. It's just shitty, greedy business owners. That's terrible.
Yeah, I don't know what their plan was. And then, like I said, you know, Ferrero tried to work with them, tried to get them to meet them halfway, and they were just like, no, not going to do it. So that's how we ended up at this Polish hall. But it was kind of cool because, like, I don't know if back in the day you ever attended like a tournament at like that people organized themselves and threw it like a Knights of Columbus hall or something. But it was kind of like that. You know, it was kind of very much like back in the day.
Sure.
All right. So was this a multi-day event, or is it just like on a Saturday?
Sunday. Yeah, well, a Sunday.
A Sunday? Okay.
Yeah. No, it's a Saturday. You're right. It's a Saturday.
Saturday. Did you guys meet up or hang out, or just on Friday, or was a lot of people coming out from out of town, or?
So a lot of people came in and spent the night.
Like, were there games being played, or not really?
So we had the venue the night before, and people were there hanging out and just slinging some cards, and we had it like all day after. So some people stayed, and like I think people were drafted. People were definitely Cuban and playing, you know, old school against each other.
Nice.
Yeah.
After the venue, I went to a buddy's house who lives nearby, and we just hung out in his garage, smoked some cigars, and you know.
Sunday. This is Sunday night.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
You know, it was just pretty mellow. It's a pretty mellow. The whole thing's pretty mellow. In years past, the Friday night before would get a bit rowdy, but you know, we're all getting older, and I think
it's like
kind of slowing down.
everybody shows up on Saturday morning. It's like, oh man, I peaked too early.
I will say, as someone who like has watched the film Bloodsport probably 150 times, that Kumite is not mellow. And Chun Li says, "You are next."
Yeah, we were talking about maybe like screening it at the thing, but
you absolutely how that's not playing while you guys are playing. I have no idea.
It should be like on a loop.
Yeah, because it's only like an hour and 15 minutes long.
Speaking of videos, there was the matches were they streamed or recorded?
Yeah, they did have a stream.
Oh, really?
Yeah, I ran into Joe Singer today. He came out to our Lords of Atlanta meetup.
Oh, Joe did it. Yeah.
And he told me that they streamed it.
Joe obviously did not win the event, but yes. I think he was close.
There were a couple different setups. So there was a streaming setup, There was a record station. Shaman Ben brought in a bunch of records that needed new homes.
Oh, no way.
Records,
That's
and you
awesome.
kind of take what you wanted. Of course, there's the altars. Everyone's bringing their altars. Some pretty cool stuff. I don't know if there's like really many pictures of it, but there was some pretty cool altars came out of it. Pete Lupo, and Mike Lupo both do a lot of altars, and they brought a bunch. Shaman Ben obviously does a lot of altars, and
they do the big dicks, right?
Yeah, dicks on everything.
Yeah.
Yeah, I got a lot of dicks.
If you're into big dick altars, these guys are like fucking S tier.
Yeah. Mike made me a Savannah cock lion. I thought it's my mascot.
No, wait, just to be more specific here, is the entire lion the phallus, or is it the lion that has an enormous phallus?
The lion's head is the phallus.
Oh, so it becomes a phallus. The entire lion. Oh, okay. All right.
Yeah.
Phallus.
Yeah.
You're welcome.
There's also a cock ring altar.
Andy,
yeah.
Andy, are you incapable of saying the word dick?
And of course,
he's such a physician. Yeah. All right. Well,
the most famous Lupo altar is the Dickalore.
Yeah.
Which apparently is a female. It should not have, unless it's like.
Unless it, yeah, maybe.
We're not trying to define the Dickalore's gender here.
Yeah.
You know.
No.
It's
been solved.
It's been solved.
It's a female.
The artist said so.
Had to utter, yeah.
Well, it's a female with a dick, man. I don't know what to tell you.
Yeah. Okay. Hey, we don't judge.
We do not.
Danny, we've all had that foggy weekend, right?
Yeah. Did you guys have was there a raffle or anything like that? Or?
No, there wasn't a raffle. In years past, there has been, but this year there wasn't a raffle.
So it was just kind of straight prize pool.
Yeah. We all got a top pick, and then it's random. So it's not like the winner goes first. It's just kind of random. I got my pick somewhere in the middle. But there's plenty of altars. I think most people got a second pick. And at the end, it was just kind of like this, like 5 cards left, like who wants them? Yeah.
Mm-hmm. I'm sure you were like, I'll take them.
Yeah. Actually, I got my prize cards. It's something Mike Lupo made, and he was hoping I would get. And it's a Secret Lair cock and balls edition.
Oh, delightful!
Yeah. Oh, it was okay. So you didn't know what was in it.
No,
you just picked, and that was one choice.
Yeah,
seems like good value there.
So it came sealed in a Hustler cards pack.
Wow.
Yeah, the amount of
people versus Larry Flint.
It's got a shatter that's an anus.
Wow.
It's got a Sengir cock vampire.
Wow.
Psychic Purge.
Okay.
Salt Monolith.
Feel free to hold these up just like a little bit longer, just enough for everyone to get screenshots.
It's fine.
Sarah Angel.
Wow.
White Knight. There we go.
Wow. Beautiful. Look how yellow that thing is.
Yeah, you might want to get that checked out.
Yeah.
Here's the Basalt Monolith.
Yeah, that's got some cancerous growth there. I don't know.
Yeah, definitely.
Purge.
Oh. Wow. Yeah.
Sengir Vampire.
Yeah.
Wow.
And of course the Shatter.
That is.
Yeah, that's
spectacular.
It's really a lot of thought put into that pick there.
Yeah.
I'm surprised if you got the middle pick that waited for you to get there.
I think people were leaving it for me.
Oh, okay.
I think people knew that was going to be my pick, and they were leaving it for me.
Did you put out the feelers beforehand to be like, I think I want that. Like, don't get it.
I let it be known that I wanted the.
Like, I really want that. Don't pick it.
Yeah. Well, I didn't tell people not to pick it. I just let it be known that.
It'd be really nice if I got that.
Just for context, Danny, So you've not participated in no less than 7 of these.
Yep.
Like, how'd you do in the other ones? Like, did you have any other like top
Um,
like 8 placings or?
I don't know if I've come. I think I've come top 8 before. I definitely usually do like fine. I usually come out with a winning record. You know.
Well, okay, let's preface by saying that
And
Danny has a history. I've known Danny for a long time, and
Yeah, you know me for like 10
he
years.
he when Danny is starting off at a tournament, if he's fresh, if his system is focused and not tainted by any alcohol or anything else, he usually does very well. And then you have a good time, and then you see the winning percentage start dropping over the course of the tournament, which normally that means by the end of the tournament, round 8,
Hey,
it's
let's be fair to Danny, Andy. This is like at least 30% of old school players.
Yeah.
To be fair, if
Right.
if substances are available in a given venue, then people are going to enjoy themselves.
Yeah, no, I'm just saying that usually sometimes it doesn't affect play, but clearly there's a diminishing returns.
What actually happens is I tank in the middle and then I kind of rally at the end.
You do? Oh, okay, all right, yeah.
Because what I've done is I've done so badly I've gotten to like the bottom table.
And then you can get a couple wins in there.
Yeah, I can get a couple wins in and start coming back.
So you have like placed in like top 8, top 16 in this event before?
Definitely top 16. I think there's like 1 or 2 I was top 8. Last year I was like number 13 or 12 or something.
We're not going into the record books to call you out on this. I'm just curious because winning in a Magic event with this many people is awesome because like you have to have a good deck and variance on your side. So if it's one you've been participating in for a while, so like had you been playing like before we get into your tech, like have you been playing the same deck over and over again, or are you like trying different things like in this event because like having played it so many times?
So I think I used to be more of a control player, and then I kind of moved into more of like a Temple of Sped type deck. And I found that aggro works a lot better in old school because just whatever reason, there's a lot of power, a lot of fast starts.
I mean, let's be honest. Like you usually talk about what you're going to play, and then end up playing blue, white, red, with like Sarah Angels and maybe some dibs in there, swords, utility.
Yeah, but
no, I don't
also
play swords.
And like everyone will say this, like if you want to go to win and play control, you could do that and you'll probably win, right? If you play a good version of the deck and play it well or something like that, you might win the event just because you're playing the deck. But also, like, you're doing an event you probably only do 2 or 3 times a year, and then seeing people you've never seen before. So, like, do you want to spend your entire rounds cast a counter spell, or do you want to pound face with Kurt Ape and Serendipity and just end the match one way or another? So,
and that's kind of what I did. So, like a year ago, I moved into this rug build. Arabian aggro, and I just found it worked pretty well. Now granted, I'm playing against the same 5-6 guys, every week. So there's only so much, variance you get in there. But I just found it worked well. I found it. One thing I actually found was, all the guys in the garage started playing like City in a Bottle. It's like, fuck this guy, rather play City in a Bottle. I find it it's like, unless they had it in their opener, they draw it, they play it turn 5, turn 6. I've already got them at 6 life.
Right. Yeah. Then you just went with bolts and side blasts, right?
Right. I just need to get enough bolts to burn them out. So I found it was, a consistent deck. It had pretty good matchups, and what you would think would be its major foil didn't really wreck me. I mean, there's games I lost because of it, but it just wasn't this insurmountable thing that I think a lot of people think it is.
Well, clearly not, because you won the fucking event. So,
right.
Well, did you have to go up against many bottles? Were you getting bottled?
I think I saw one all day, but I knew a lot of people were running it.
what's interesting, Danny? Like we just heard this anecdotally about NoobCon in Sweden, which is like I don't think I need to tell you what NoobCon is, but like they said the same thing there. Like you could just run rampant with Arabian creatures because like no one was playing bottle, which to me is absolutely absurd if you're playing anything that is not chock full of Arabian cards. Like you could main deck 1 and like sideboard 2 or even 3 if you want to go bonkers. But they said the same thing, and like
it didn't matter.
Yeah, well, I don't know. Maybe it is like price of admission on the card, perhaps, but like the card just destroys decks that just play cards with scimitars on them. So it's crazy to hear that, but like it's amazing that you ran into it. We say once,
yeah. In like practice, to the extent that I practiced, I ran into it a lot, and it didn't matter then. And in the tournament, I ran into it once, and it didn't matter when I ran into it.
Sure, yeah.
I actually kind of wonder if the Silex might be more impactful. Those decks, you know, everyone's running factories, right? Everyone's running mines. You know, I kind of wonder if that might be more impactful.
Right, workshops.
People are maybe making a mistake running bottle over that.
Why don't we actually talk about what you ran?
Oh my God!
All right.
Instead of just Jared, do you want to go through the deck list?
I would love to, but Andy,
there's one more thing I got to show you guys before we do that. That's
sure.
What is
our
this?
version of the.
Oh, that's a jetted. Yeah, they picked the right card for you too.
So for anyone who's just listening to this, so Danny, while he's now in Michigan, is a Sisters of the Flame expat, which is why not the only reason, but one of the reasons we have him on here. His avatar is Jedit Ojanen, like the legend card. Yeah. So they actually altered a Jedit with Danny on it for winning the event. And if you're not watching, you should see it. It's really sweet. But the fact that he did something so specific for the winner is really awesome. And then it just shows you how much like these people that have been running this event for so long actually care about, you know, the winner and whatever.
Yeah, very cool.
Really, yeah.
Cool.
I actually like that a lot. Like, just find out who wins the tournament and say, I mean, give them maybe something like a placeholder or whatever. And then a week later, just like mail it to them or whatever and say, hey, this is your. I think that's really nice.
75 now from now on. Also, that's.
Oh, you do? Okay.
Can you push that a little bit closer?
Oh,
Danny, I know you posted
that's great.
this. I'll probably save this so Andy can overlay it. But like, yeah, look at that. Like, Jesus Christ. It has the flannel and everything.
Yeah,
it's so dialed in. It's beautiful.
The flannel.
The flannel, the glasses, the beard, the whole thing.
Yeah, dude.
It's so
that's
good.
Awesome.
Who did the altar on that?
People though.
Okay.
Yeah. He's done a couple altars for me. Mostly dicks, you know, but there's some other cool stuff too. He's done altars of all my cats on my Savannah Lions. So how I got the man with the cat is I used to literally be the man with the cat. I had one cat that I found on the street in Brooklyn, and I had her for like 17 years. And I lived in New York for like 19 years or something before I moved out to Michigan. And I had this cat for like most of that time. And so that's why I chose the man with the cat, you know, because it was basically me and this cat.
Yeah, and Jedit is the cat legend.
Right. That is the cat legend.
Makes sense.
So, yeah, let's talk about your pile then, Danny, because it's so elegant and so just deeply steeped in like old school that you wouldn't expect this to like come out on top, because it doesn't really do anything outside of what this deck as an archetype normally does, but you're able to pull it out with it. So
can you send me a picture of it on
I'll send you a picture.
DM it?
Yeah,
I'll copy
it
Andy, It'd be
It would be really
great
nice if I
it'd
was
be
prepared.
Really to get your shit together when you do these podcasts. Like honestly, this is embarrassing.
This should
Danny,
be it.
Dan,
There's something to be said for spontaneity.
This should be
Okay.
it, or it's a naughty picture. You'll figure it out when you open it.
We'll see.
So yeah, I mean, basically, there were a couple things that went into me doing better. One was I got more prep than usual. So Knights Templar is an old school group. We play old school like maybe 10 times a year. Most of the time we're drafting, or we're Cuban, or we're drafting, then we're Cuban. We have a house rule where we draft and we save our cards, and then we kind of build decks from that during the year, and we call it our 60 pools. We also have an old school 60 pool where we over the course of a couple of years have built up like an old school 60 pool, and we play that stuff like 90% of the time. We play old school like 10% of the time.
Sure.
I think I gotta imagine that's true of most old school groups. I can't imagine they're running, they're meeting up and running starting to free week in, week out.
You'd be surprised, but yeah. Like most people that have been playing old school for like more than like let's say 5 years, like they would rather be doing a cube or limited thing that's like curated by like a group for sure, because like it's old school. Like how many decks are good? Like how many times can you play the same deck? So blah 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 blah. Right. So it's really cool that you have something kind of special that you all still very much enjoy in a limited format. So yeah.
But I did get more practice in. We like a month before Kumite, we started kind of running exclusively old school on our meetups, and I met up with some of the Detroit guys, Ryan and Jay, for an afternoon, and they ran a couple different decks, and I just ran this, because of course, like Andy said, I just have one deck, even though I've got a chunk load of cards.
But you just have to get the reps in against different opponents and stuff. So it's good that they have a number of different decks.
So let me ask Danny, since you've played this event like multiple times now, is this something that you played in the past or like an archetype you're familiar with, or you just like decided that like I think this archetype's good, I'm gonna swap to this? Like, have you played this at previous Kumites, or did you decide that like this is maybe the deck for this event like now?
So the first Kumite, I played No Win Con Shahrazad.
Oh, I think I remember this. I remember you saying such a troll.
Yeah, I trolled the event. I played No Win Con Shahrazad. I would just see how many turns I could take. But I wanted to, it was my first one, so I wanted to be impactful.
And the key to beating you is basically just not to concede.
Yeah, don't concede the sub games. just battle it out, and you'll eventually win, because I can't win a game.
Did you get an actual hard on when you found out that Fluffy went like 007 at NoobCon by doing exactly this with divine intervention? No,
but it was. I mean, if you're gonna troll, you gotta troll right.
Yeah.
You have no way to win, and just endless ways to delay it, but no way to actually get there.
Sure.
Worst came to worst, I ran a Felden's Cane, but I never actually got to use it. So the next couple of Kumites, I ran like a blue-white flyers kind of list.
Okay.
And then that eventually morphed into like a Temple of Spec kind of list.
Okay.
This is my first time running this list at Kumite, but I've been running this deck for about a year.
Yeah, that's why I love to ask that question, man. It's like, we just had France on the podcast with this back-to-back like Hydra Tilt like wins, and like playing decks that like he's like very much like a burn / Tog player, and like he won Hydra Tilt back-to-back with decks that like he never in a million years would play normally at an old school event if he was going to win. So it's super interesting to hear someone like that. Like, yeah, this is like not in my comfort zones, not something I've played a million times. And then you won the event with it, and like, yeah, variance always has to be on your side to win. But it's super cool that you took it down with something that like you've not been playing or tweaking. Like,
have you gotten out to like play at other events with this at all, or haven't gotten the chance to?
I ran it at Chalice.
Yeah.
And I didn't do well, but I was also pretty sick. So
yeah, I remember.
That kind of. So I'm not sure. That probably was a factor.
It probably is.
Yeah. No one's interested in your fucking excuses, Danny.
He was. I don't think you can count that one. I think. Yeah. I think you had a lot of things on your mind, but whatever.
I have been tweaking it for like a year, and
okay.
Overall, I thought the deck was good. Obviously, the dibs and the earnums are really good. I don't think anyone's going to argue there. The Crit Apes were fantastic.
Let me go ahead and steamroll through this for the listeners who are not going to watch this.
Yeah,
otherwise,
can somebody send it to me on Discord and not on the here, because I can't really check here. But go ahead.
Are you going to send it, Danny, or do you want me to send it to Andy? Okay.
All right, go ahead.
All right. So yeah, I'm gonna roll this off. So 4 factories: Lotus, Ruby, Emerald, Sapphire. We have 3 Urnum Gens, 4 Serendip Efreets, 3 Psionic Blasts, 1 Wheel of Fortune, 1 Time Twister, 1 Library of Alexandria, 1 Chaos Orb, Time Walk, Mana Drain, Regrowth, 4 Argothian Pixies, 4 Curd Ape, 4 Lightning Bolt, 4 Chain Lightning, 1 Fireball, Earthquake, 1 Soul Ring, Ancestral Recall, some number, I assume 4 of Tropical Island.
Yeah, 4 of all the duels.
Okay, yeah, all the duels. So 4 Tropical Island, 4 Tega, 4 Volcanic Island, 1 Strip Mine, and 2 City of Brass. I will say this: I literally hate all of you pieces of shit that post deck photos without your sideboards.
But my sideboard wasn't really. It was mostly. So one thing I did have on the sideboard was Bazaar.
Wait, what?
Yeah. So I had it
made. Dude. You typically are gonna play more than past game 1, so your sideboard is so relevant. You have Bazaars in your sideboard.
Yeah, but he doesn't run Sylvans though.
No.
Yeah.
So they're not as good.
No, it's basically if I'm playing either a similar deck and I need to.
I love the fact that I have no idea what he's physically doing right now.
He's trying to get. I think he's trying to get his sideboard.
Yeah, I'm trying to see if I have it in reach. I don't.
I'm assuming there's some number of red blasts, maybe 2 red blasts, 2 blue blasts.
That makes up the bulk of the sideboard.
Sylvan. You have a Sylvan library in there too.
Bazaars?
So the Bazaar used to be main deck, and I found it sucked.
Okay.
I think you need Sylvan library for that.
But I couldn't quite bear to cut it, so I moved it into the board.
Okay.
And did you ever? Yeah, I sided it in actually once.
You did once,
against Jaco.
No.
Because he was running a pretty similar deck, and I kind of figured I needed to find,
you draw better than him, yeah.
Yeah, I just need to draw better than him to try to win. But I ran at main for a while just because I love the card, but it was trash. Usually when I do it,
it's Andy's right. It's shit without Sylvan.
Did you run Artifact Blast?
Artifact Blast, yeah.
Yeah. And maybe like some Shatters or Shatter Storms or something. That's what I'm guessing.
Shatter, and that was it basically. Blue Blast, Shatter, Red Blasts, Artifact Blast.
To the 70 to 150 people who eventually listen to this podcast, I'll say this now. If you ever post a deck list without your fucking sideboard, you are garbage. Your deck is 75 cards, not 60. You're probably doing it wrong. Just fucking take. If you don't know how to sideboard, then you're probably not gonna win. But
So I
Danny,
sideboarded. And
What?
sideboarding definitely won me a few games.
right?
Okay.
So me to you. Take a photo of your fucking sideboard next time. But we'll move past this though.
I'll see if I
You
can
gotta
find it.
you gotta play the you gotta play the angles. You know, you gotta play the angles.
I gotta protect my tech.
Yeah,
So-
he's
so-
got to protect his tech.
I gotta protect my 3 copies of Copperhead.
Well, trolling aside, so like Danny, you said you like actually tested this and like got to tweak it a little bit. So like,
Yeah.
what did you find was like good or bad? Like, what tweaks did you make before the event?
Well, so already the Bazaar I told you. Originally, I was running more strip mines, and because this is Eternal Central.
4 strip,
you can run
yeah.
it for 4. And I just
And you have one lonely strip mine in your deck, so
I think I had another one on the board, but yeah.
well, we wouldn't know because you didn't fucking take a photo of it, but sure.
All right, moving on.
So I found that it just wasn't. It was kind of a nombo because like I really needed.
You need
all my
colored mana.
Yeah, I
Yeah.
need all my colored mana, and it's really only in there as like an emergency, you know. And it came in handy, but it just I cut down. I went from 4 to 3, and then eventually went from 3 to 1. Maybe is an argument like 2 is the right number, but it's definitely not. It's definitely not 3 or 4.
Did you get Blood Mooned at all?
I did, and it didn't really matter.
Were they so low on life already? So
yeah, I could still use all my burn, and so it doesn't matter.
Right. Yeah. Because you with the 4, this is the thing. Like most people will like hedge like some number of chain lightnings. You decided to go 4, and like I like that in a list like this because like you're probably gonna do 3, and like they're never gonna bounce it back because guess what? You're probably just gonna bounce it right the fuck back and get 6, right? So
one guy did bounce it against me, and I was like, "Are you sure?" And he was like, "Yeah." And I was like, "All right, man. Like I bounced it back here at 1 life, you know."
Right.
Go ahead. The thing is with this list, I mean, it's pretty. The correct list is pretty standard. There's really only a couple flex spots.
yeah, I mean the only things I would probably play is I'd probably play a dragon over the Mahamodi just because it gives you more outs to the Blood Moon and
Blood Moon. Yeah.
and the I mean
I
the
had
earth
Cinnamon
depending.
sideboard, actually, and I did side it.
Yeah, and then I mean I don't know if you were expecting a lot of creature decks. I like the earthquake, but maybe
Love the Earthquake.
Earthquake was key. Earthquake was key.
yeah. But the fireball, it's like your deck is so fast. So I don't know if you ever actually really cast the fireball for a significant amount of mana.
It's just I just had to admit because it's a beta, and I wanted to see it.
If you play old school Magic and you have like at least 5 red sources, like just always put a fireball in your deck. Just always. Doesn't matter what you're playing.
I don't know that I.
To our listeners, I don't know if that's correct, but
I don't know that I even
Andy,
played it.
shut up.
But yeah, you're probably right. I like the Modi.
I mean it's a Modi. Who doesn't like a Modi?
It
But
might be better. Like you might be right. Like maybe shipping's better, but I liked it. And it was great. The couple times I did see a city in a bottle. It's a great way to fight through that.
This is a card that should die to City in Battle, but it doesn't because it was an alpha.
Right. I think the actual weakest cards were the Pixies.
Really?
Yeah.
well, they're not.
Now, granted, I will clarify. I won my last game that won me the tournament
On the back of a Pixie?
On the back of a Pixie.
Yeah.
But
That's messed up, man.
All day they sucked. Like all day, they were much worse than pretty much any. Like I feel like a Scripps Sprite
because they were outmatched, Danny, or because they were like casting Falling Star or Earthquake.
Well, I mean, you play them if you're expecting Trike or something, but maybe.
Yeah.
Well,
I guess you didn't see that.
They're excellent against factories.
Factories
but I
not
guess
bad. There's always going to be factories.
In a 4-strip environment, then like factory is, I guess, like less of a thing, right? So why were they bad?
They just they were terrible against big creatures. Like I remember one time I had 2 pixies and my opponent had a fucking Juzam, and I was just like,
Cool.
yeah, I was like, this is great. But he wouldn't block them because he was afraid I was going to bolt his Juzam. But I was just like, I've now dealt like 12 damage to you, and you still have a
You're gonna die.
yeah.
Why don't you block?
So he wouldn't hold back his Juzam to eat them. So he would swing at me, and I'd swing back for 4, and then like have some burn. So we were kind of like at an equilibrium. But it felt terrible because it was just like this. I'd need 3 of them to eat his Juzam, and it just felt terrible. It against bigger ground creatures, it was against an Urnum, it was terrible. Against a factory, it's great, sure, but like again, it's less of a thing here. Against White Weenie, it was atrocious.
So it's still a threat, Danny. So like if you were to, if pixies were bad, like what I noticed you have absolutely no main deck artifact hate at all. Would you play some number of artifact hate?
I'd probably run a main deck Shatter if I got him.
Right.
But I think,
you have 4 fucking pixies in your main deck. So would you? Go ahead. I'm sorry.
I think I would. I think what I'm going to experiment with is moving them to the board. And
I have to piss like a racehorse. I'll be right back.
But it means the thing is that like, what do you put in that 2 spot? And you want to be aggressive in terms of your creature base, and there's hardly anything else that's good.
What I looked at was
the only comparable would be maybe. Well, you have Elvish Archers, you have Dervish, you have in green.
So I feel like Elvish Archers would have been much better in most cases. I feel like Dervish would have definitely been better in certain matches. I feel like Scrib Sprite might have
Scrib Sprites is good.
Might have been better because like they're not going to waste a removal spell on a Scrib Sprite. That's the beauty of it,
Yeah.
And they've taken but before you know it, they've taken like 7 damage off of it.
I keep looking at this list. The only other thing, I don't know if you've actually experimented with it, is just taking out a Chain Lightning and maybe put in 1 Giant Growth, which can be used defensively.
Yeah. So in an early iteration of the deck, I was running Bloodlust.
Oh,
terrible.
Bloodlust?
Great, but terrible. Yeah.
Yeah, and here's the thing. Honestly, it wasn't bad. And I can see where you go in and where the logic is to have, some kind of trick. I think that's an argument.
Like a 4th bolt. I don't know.
Yeah.
Well,
and then you can even.
Here's the thing: you fucking won, so it was fine. And you had a card you didn't like in it, which is amazing. And I'm sure you talked about this while I was urinating for the last 30 seconds. But like, yeah, Scrib Sprites, Giant Growth, like maybe better than those slots, like.
The other thing is, I wouldn't fault you if you didn't play Library.
Yeah,
because
actually, most of the time it wasn't.
Because I don't really want to draw cards.
Unless I got into my opener, it wasn't great. And I remember there was one game where I had it in my opener, and I was like, I guess
on the play.
Yeah.
Oh, let's see that.
I was like, I guess the correct play is to play it, right? But like,
well. Is it though? I don't think so.
It kind of felt like I'm slowing myself down.
Right.
Like I'm holding creatures back,
I think you can move it to the sideboard and bring it in against control.
On the same plane, given your mana base, like you can support Hurricane. Like Hurricane, I feel like would be like great in this list, right?
It would be, especially because most of my creatures are ground creatures.
Yeah. And like even if you had Scribbies over Pixies, like. You're going to cast those early, and like you don't care if they die because you've already done your damage. You're just going to burn them out, right? So
right. I don't care. I wouldn't care if Pixies die.
So. Oh it can't be blue blasted. So
yeah.
Just some thoughts. But
I think 1 Chain is a flex slot. I think the Fireball is a flex slot. I think the Modi is a flex slot. I do think the Modi would be a flex slot in that it would have to be replaced by another creature, but I do think it's a flex spot. And I think
you throw the Library into the sideboard.
Yeah, Library on the board. I think the Pixies were honestly again, I won my last game on the back of Pixies.
Oh, what was it? What was the situation in the last game that
So I
made
don't
it
remember
relevant?
ever. This is a couple weeks ago. I adhere to a pretty strict drug regimen, keep my mind nimble.
Right. It's
But as far as I recall, like he was he we were 1-1, and he was pretty much going to win. I top decked a time walk and had a regrowth, so I was able to chain together 2 turns, and I think there was like a time twister in there or something as well that got me some cards back.
Sure.
And all he had to block were factories.
oh,
And because of that, I was able to swing in with the Pixies.
Right.
3 times basically.
Yeah.
And then finish. And I think again, I'm kind of piecing this together, but I think the play was like it was my turn. All he had was the factories, but I knew if he took like maybe I wasn't dead his next turn, but I was definitely dead the turn after that.
right.
So I knew like the clock was ticking. So I, Pixie attack with the Pixies, it couldn't block. Put him to like I don't know 8 or something. Time walk, regrew the time walk again. So I chained together 2 turns. Now he can't block the Pixies for 2 turns.
Yeah.
And then I think I top decked some kind of 7 draw and
Twister wheel. Yeah.
I was able to get back enough burn to
Right.
finish him off.
Well, that sounds like a really good match. Is that going to be? Oh, was that streamed or no?
No, so I didn't. I was offered to stream, and I was like, "No."
You're like, no, that's fine. So it will go down in the annals of magic mystery.
So to that end, I mean, it's excellent that the card that you felt was the weakest in your deck won me the what was your last match. But so like on the day, Danny, do you remember any of the other matchups like going through the rounds?
Against Mike Lupo, so against my last opponent, I got lucky in that regard. I mean, I think you do need. I think you got lucky too.
Yeah, of course.
Against Mike Lupo, it was pure luck. Like he was playing a discard deck, which is probably my worst matchup.
Right.
And he like turn 1 like double hit me or something, and I was like,
oh.
I guess I'm and it was after he beat me. He like ran me over game 1, and like game 2, like turn 1 double hit me, and I was like, I guess I'm losing, But I regrew Ancestral, I Ancestraled again, and that got me to like a
stabilize, yeah.
That got me to a wheel, and I was just able to go off on the races there. So that was the other match that I was just like, this was just, whatever you want to call it, luck or whatever, meant to be or whatever. It felt like I should have lost. The last match, I don't know that it felt like I should have lost it. It felt like either one of us could have won it. But against Mike Lupo, it felt like I should have lost.
Yeah, your matchup versus Black is they got so many tools. They have the him. I don't know if he was playing sinkholes. He can take you off. He can take you off your mana.
Double him is usually just auto lose, and then like double him, and then like they sinkhole like whatever. Then you're just like
your mana's tough anyway.
Like yeah.
Terror hits everyone.
Yeah, it was my worst matchup.
Yeah.
By far, and as soon as I sat down across from him and he like turn 1 hit me like the first game, I was like, well, here we go. But I was able, just by luck, and it was just one of those things where I feel like I shouldn't have won that match. It was just luck was on my side, and
so you did say you did some like testing with this. So like what did you find like in testing like changes that you made?
So I had a problem with White Weenie. That's why I put in the Fireball and the Earthquake.
Nice.
And I don't think the Fireball was that impactful. The Earthquake definitely was.
Sure.
One of the guys in the garage, Rob, he runs White Weenie like how everyone's kind of a lot of people anyway have like their pet deck. White Weenie's like his pet deck, and he consistently gave me trouble, and so that's where I came in and added those in. I found most of my matchups were pretty good, and that's kind of why I stuck to the deck. like I was pretty good against control. I was pretty good against, because I just have too many threats. I was pretty good against blue white flyers. Same thing. I just have too many threats for their removal. Dead Guy Ale was a bit of a problem again because they have the discard.
Right. I mean, their disenchants are dead, and like their swords just give you more life, which just
I'm not scared of
drags it out a little bit, right? So like that's got to be like fine, right?
Yeah, I'm not scared of the swords. The discard deck, the black discard deck was definitely my worst matchup. One of the guys runs what he calls Tommy Stormseeker, which is just like a burn deck with Stormseekers as like a finisher you're not expecting.
Sure.
And that deck is really fast. And basically with those matchups, like it would just come to like which one of us can burn out the other one.
Sure.
Quicker, and you kind of have to like be real careful with like tapping your cities and that kind of matchup and that kind of stuff.
Yeah, because if they draw 7 and then get to whack you with one of those bad boys off Lotus or something like that, it's just like, well, okay.
The other thing I found with the deck is you have to be willing to mulligan. It's not a deck where you can just keep any playable 7. You really have to be willing to mulligan.
Sure.
And you have to mulligan pretty aggressively. I mulliganed a lot. The day I think like in 4 of my matchups, I mulliganed
the art of the mulligan.
I mulliganed at least one of the games. In one game, I mulled to 5 and still won the game. I just found like I have to mull to.
That's how you win events, though, man. Like that's like the art of old school Magic, right? It's like my 7 is okay-ish, but
at the same time, this deck mulligans very well. Like other decks are not. Other mid-range or control decks are not going to mulligan as well as this one. But
and that was, consistently what I saw a strength to the deck was that it mulliganed well. But I could toss a risky hand and be pretty confident that my next set was going to be something playable. And I kind of, I would get kind of greedy. I would kind of mull to like a turn 1 threat and power. And most of the time you're able to hit that. Because you're running. 8 pieces of power, 9 pieces of power, something like that, and you're able to hit, some piece of power in most opening hands if you're willing to chance it. And so I kind of did mull aggressively, which is something I had to learn. When I first started playing old school, I really didn't like to mull, and I kind of had to learn.
I just want to play.
Yeah,
let's just do that.
To do that.
It's hard, man. It's the hardest part of the game. It's one of the things that really separates like good Magic players from great Magic players is like, can I win with these cards?
Yeah,
and being able to
no, you got to toss it.
Yeah, for sure.
Well, so, I mean, that's not necessarily true because if you're a control deck, it's basically, do I have the answers? Right. If I have an answer, if I have some sort of creature removal and some sort of like maybe a disenchant or something, then maybe I might get there or something. Yeah. So knowing your deck, knowing how to play, knowing when to mulligan is super important. And I think it sounds like you put in the reps. So obviously you're going to know what is going to get there and what's not going to get there. But
I think there were 3 main things that got me there. One was I got more reps in.
Yeah.
Than I usually do. The other was I like didn't go out and like got a good night's sleep, and the day of I didn't really drink. Which is
so you had your head on your shoulders,
which is not typical for me.
Collector's item.
That was after the tournament.
You were sharp. You were sharp and fresh.
I was much sharper than usual, and then I just seemed to have luck on my side. Like I said, like definitely against Mike Lupo, I got super lucky, and I got kind of lucky in my last matchup as well. So. It just felt like I did my homework, and then on the day of I got lucky, kind of thing.
Yeah.
But I think most of us have been playing old school long enough that like most games you kind of like within a couple cards what they're playing, and then you kind of know, okay, well here's what I got to do against this deck, and maybe it gets you there, maybe it doesn't. So
Sure.
There's few surprises, and you just kind of have to know what you're up against and then what your best plays are. The only deck I have, I faced it was a surprise. Was some guy was running an Enchantress deck.
Really?
Nice.
Yeah. And it was pretty sick, but I was just like, I can't let him keep his fucking Enchantress. Like as much as I
Gotta
want to
kill
see,
that.
as much as I want to see how this goes.
Do you remember what colors it was, Danny? Just out of curiosity.
I think it was
Green, white, blue,
white,
maybe.
black.
Green, white, black. Okay.
I think it was green, white, black.
Were they doing like weakness, like warp artifact,
Paralyzed, maybe?
angel kind of thing with dorks, or
I don't remember. I think he posted it.
He's like, I beat him too fast.
Yeah, as soon as I saw he was doing something weird, I'm like, I have to end this game.
I'm rolling back in the
as soon as
right now.
As soon as you do something weird, I gotta win quick.
I think I got it, Danny. This is very combo-y. Was it Craig?
Yeah, that sounds
Okay.
right.
Okay, so check this out. Wow, what a deck this is. His main deck is 2 Maze of Ith, Ancestral Recall, Time Twister, Time Walk, 1 Vesuvian Doppelganger, 4 Mohammadi Jinn, 2 Wanderlust, 2 Control Magic, 2 Backfire, 2 fucking main deck Backfire. God bless this man. A Soul Ring, Chaos Orb. Wait. 2 more Maze of Ith. So 4 main deck Maze of Ith. He broke them up like this. 3 Fast Bond. Andy, you'll love that. 3 Sylvan Library. 2 Revelation. Way to hedge against Abyss and also have perfect knowledge. 2 Wild Growth. 1 Strip Mine. 4 Mishra's Factory. 4 Verdurn Enchantress. 1, I think that's an Altered Regrowth. 1 City of Brass, Library of Alexandria, 4 Trop Island, Sapphire Emerald, 2 more strip mines, so 3 strip mine total, and then 5 islands and 5 forests. And his sideboard, oh my god, combo deck delicious. 2 In the Eyes of Chaos, 2 Power Leak, which I just fucking love so much. That card is so good, no one ever plays it. 2 more Backfire, which is insane. This guy has 4 Backfire between his main deck and his sideboard. God bless the man. 2 more Control Magics, 3 Energy Flux, 1 Life Force, 1 Life Tap. Like, who the fuck plays Life Tap? 1 Cyclone, 1 Cyclone, and an Arborea. Like, what the fuck? Like, this is genius insanity.
Yeah. He played Backfire on a dim. And I was like,
it's like, oh man, FML. All right.
The thing is, when something like that's kind of what I'm getting at is like a rogue deck can often do really well because people are like, wait, what the fuck?
Right. Yeah. You have no answers because like you don't know what they're doing, and they play cards that just do shit that like you just can't fuck with. Like,
That's where I live.
Yeah.
That's where I live.
And but I didn't let him keep his enchantresses. I wanted to. Like I felt bad. I was like, I want to see where he's going with this, but like I can't.
How did do we know how he did? Okay.
He went 2-3 or 3-2.
Wait. I have this. I have the standings up. Craig Windsor. He got 6. Let's see. Wait. Match points. Yeah. 6. He won. 2
So I won
games.
twice. Okay.
Yeah.
That's cool.
That deck's nutty as squirrel shit. That's beautiful.
Yeah.
That's amazing.
It was wild. I'm trying to remember like what my opponents played. Like I know round 1 was Jaco. I think round 2 was that guy. I think round 3 was Mike Lupo. Let me check.
Let's see. Yeah, the problem I have is that we just have we do have the Kumite disc.
Yeah, I got it up here. So round 1 was against Jaco, and he was on a very similar deck.
To you.
Also Arabian aggro.
Got it.
Round 2 was against this guy, the
Enchantress guy. Yeah.
Round 3,
Spice Award all fucking day, dude. I'm gonna have a hard look at this later and just fucking have a good think about it. Like this is
It's wild.
Exceptional.
It's wild stuff. Round 3 was against Phil Hillman, who's another of the Knights, and he was playing like a stasis deck, if I remember right. Let's see
Ooh,
if I can find the picture of that. That I remember it was something real spicy. Also,
let's see if I can hunt this down at the
it
same
should be
time.
in there.
Are you guys on the Kumite Discord, or where are you getting these
Yeah.
lists?
Yeah.
Hill
I
Giant
think
Special, yeah. So he was playing Winter Orb, Howling Mine, Meekstone, Relic Barrier. So it wasn't a stasis deck. It was that kind of deck. It was a Winter Orb. I think I was expecting it.
like parfait package, like Winter Orb, Relic Barrier, Howling Mine, like
Yeah,
yeah, I got it.
and it was that was. I think I do think I beat him in 2, but I remember like that. It felt they felt like close games because his stuff just shut down my stuff. Like the Meekstone wrecked me. Winter Orb was real tough. The Howling Mine actually kind of helped me though. So like
Yeah.
yeah, it was kind of like I didn't suffer from having too many cards in hand because I had a lot of 1 mana stuff. Even with the Winter Orb out. So that was round 3, right? Yeah, and let's see what was round 4. Round 4, I have no idea. Let's see. Round 4 against Joe
It
Stone.
was a
I
blur.
don't remember what this guy was doing. I'm sure it was something. I'm
Sure, it was something.
I'm sure it was something solid. I just don't, because at that point, he would have been 3-0.
That's
But
fair.
I don't remember what it was. Yeah, Joe Stone. I don't remember that match at all.
I'm trying to
Then
I'm trying to
round 5. Where did I play Mike? Oh, Joe Stone was Mike Lupo. That's it. Then so he was on the Discord. He was on the discard deck. And then I played Spencer.
who's on the same kind of deck as you. Actually, I'm scrolling through these, Danny, it's kind of funny. A lot of people played Rug Aggro, but
Yeah.
they didn't do it your way, and they all played Script Sprites, and they all lost. So
So maybe Script Choice isn't the way.
yeah.
Where do you see Spencer's deck?
Sweetness, right? Hold on. I know this guy from the U40 Discord.
And
One
then
second. I just
yes, so I think I kind of remember that. And then so Joe Stone was Mike Lupo. Spencer
Oh
was
shit!
playing,
Oh, I got. Oh, here we go. Here's your boy Dave with the Howling the Parfait deck. This is a mono white control list. So he was playing 3 Relic Barriers, 3 Icy Manipulator, 2 Fell Warstone, Mirror Universe, 1 Felden's Cane, 3 Howling Mine, 3 Winter Orb, 1 Black Vice, 1 Soul Ring, Chaos Orb, Library of Alexandria, all the power in terms of mana rocks, 2 Sarah Angel, Balance, Wrath of God, 2 Kismet. Jeez.
Yeah.
God bless. Yeah, that's
I
right.
love Kismet.
Spaces, right? Yeah. It's just 2 Kismet Raw Dog and a mono white control pile. That's brilliant. 2 Moat, 1 Geddon, 4 Disenchant, 1 Dust to Dust, 1 Land Tax, 3 Swords, 4 Factory, 1 Workshop, 1 Strip Mine. Sorry, 4 Strip Mine, and then for 8 Planes.
It's a lot of moats.
2 Moats, yeah. Two.
No,
two
in
moats.
this tournament, I'm looking at deck lists.
Moat, yeah. Two. This deck though, 2 Moat, 2 Kismet, main. He's like, you know what? I like this because he's like, this is my plan, and I'm sticking to it. He's got Wrath. Like his only win cons essentially are Factory and 2 Sarahs, unless his Black Vice just absolutely is in lock mode. So this must have been a very interesting match for you, Danny.
This is
no, I didn't. The hit I played against was
miserable.
which guy is this?
This
This
is
is
Dave. You said you played against the Parfait guy with Winter Orbs and like Howling Mines.
No, that was Phil Hillman. Was the guy I played against with.
there's another one here, Dave. He's doing mono white like
Oh, there's
lockdown
another
prison
one.
deck.
Okay, yeah. This guy went one. He went 1-5 with that, but like, God bless him. Let's find
So
who
James
your-
Owens was my last match, and I for the life of me, I can't remember what the hell this guy was doing. It was some kind of aggro build, but I'm kind of blanking on what he had.
Here's another deck that plays moats with enchantment. Oh, and what is it? Remove enchantments. Might be
remove
up your
enchantment.
aisle. Kumite
that.
Kyle. Yeah, there's a lot of moats.
Yeah, it's a lot of moats here.
People are scared of the ground creatures.
Yeah, I
It's
guess
just
so.
factory, which is interesting in a 4 strip environment. You'd think that you just deal with these things.
Yeah, I don't know that most people were running 4 strips. I didn't remember them being that big an issue throughout the day. I see a lot of decks with just 1 or 2. So I don't know. It's maybe like more the threat is more than
There's
the
a
actuality.
Cyclopean Tomb deck I'm looking at. This is a spicy field.
Yeah.
Maybe here's your boy, Danny Admiral Fierro.
Ferrero. That's Paul
Guy-
Ferrero. He was posting for Phil Hillman. So that's
Yeah. Okay. So here's the deck Danny was talking about. It's 4 Sarahs, 4 swords, 4 disenchants, 4 counter spells. So this guy's going fucking deep with the Parfait package. So, yeah, 4 of those 4 cards, which like are obviously good. 4 Relic Barrier, 2 Icy, 2 Ivory Tower, 2 Black Vice, 3 Howling Mine, 3 Winter Orb, 3 Meek Stone. God bless. Time Twister, Time Walk, Ancestral, Soul Ring, Pearl, Sapphire, Lotus. He has 6 planes, 5 basic island, 4 tundra, library, a maze, and ass strip mine. And his sideboard is mana drain. In the sideboard, God bless, another strip mine in the sideboard, 4 power sink, 3 cop red, hard hedge. Listen to this. Wait for that. Listen to this shit. Wow, what a sideboard. 3 cop red, 2 cop white, 2 cop black.
What?
2 Oracle's Recall. Yeah.
Wow.
I think he played a cop red against me. Honestly, I'm looking at this. I don't know how I fought through all this. Like,
Holy shit.
I think this probably involved a fair amount of luck too. Because, he had the towers, he had the.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know how I fought through this.
This might be the most old school sideboard I've ever seen. 3 cop red, 2 cop white, and 2 cop black in the same sideboard. Holy shit. Like, this guy was planning.
It was.
Um,
The only thing I wish I could remember what my last opponent was on. I think it was some kind of aggro build.
Here's your boy Spencer. Did you play Spencer, Danny? I thought you said you did.
Yeah.
So Spencer's pile, which is he was just red green aggro. So he's got 4 Ernie, 4 Kurt Ape, 4 Lanor Elf, 4 Pixie, 4 Bolt, 4 Chain, 2 Giant Growth, 2 Scavenger Folk, Wheel, 1 Sylvan, Berserk, Fireball, Regrowth, 1 Shatter, 1 Crumble, Soul Ring, Chaos Orb, Lotus. He's playing proxies. Ruby, Emerald, 3 Factory, 4 Strip Mine, and then his mana base is 3 Tega, 1 Pendelhaven, 1 Hammerheim, 3 City of Brass, 4 Strip Mine, 2 Mountain, 3 Forest, and then his sideboard was 4 Red Blast, 2 Artifact Blast, 1 Concordant Crossroads, 2 Hurricane, another Berserk, 2 Tranquility, and 3 Whirling Dervish. So this is very favorable for you, right? Because he has literally nothing in the air at all.
Yeah, I don't remember this. I don't remember how this matched, but I think it was a fine matchup, but yeah, I think probably my dips got there.
Yeah.
Looking at this list.
I'm gonna have to go through so many deck picks and put it on this video. It's like ridiculous. Let's just stop talking about decks before I have to do more work.
No. Wait. Well, he didn't play Carrasco, but we must talk about Carrasco's deck before we end this podcast, because Carrasco's deck, I think, out of all of these, Andy, Spice Award winner.
Well, that Enchantress deck seemed pretty cool.
That Enchantress deck. Wow.
Maybe we should do a podcast on just Enchantress and all its
don't
versions.
Enchantress decks get better once you take Enchantress?
Yeah.
Enchantress
well, we can end the podcast by saying, you know what, we'll just take out the Enchantress.
There's a guy from shit. It's not Sweden. It's one of the Scandinavian countries. Finland is what are those two? Finland and Norway. His name's Tukali. He's in Guildhouse. He built an Enchantress deck in green black that plays Fallen Angel with like weakness and oubliette and shit. And like I thought it was super cool, and I built this and played it a bunch, and it's pretty good. It's pretty good.
All right, we'll put that on the back burner. I'm trying to look for Carrasco's deck. I can't find it.
Okay, well, here, hold on, Andy. I'll send it to you if you want. This is so much fun. Hold on.
There were a lot of interesting decks, and there were a lot of good players that are well versed in like the decks they play. It was a good tournament. I think it was the right number of rounds. I think more would have been a little brutal. Keeping the 6 rounds, I think, was kind of key. It was mellow. It was a mellow day. We all had a good time. Didn't get too crazy. We had Shaman Ben's table of goodies. We had all the dick alters. It was a solid day. I really can't. I can't think of anything that went wrong. Like, we all just had a good time. Spun some cards, and yeah.
You fucking won, though, man.
Yeah, I did. I did win. Which was cool. Like I said, though, like it was luck. Like it wasn't that my opponents were.
No, I mean there was a little bit of luck, but you played a decent deck. You played it well. You played you put in the reps, and it gave you dividends. So it's not all luck. I mean, we know luck takes a part of it especially in some rounds. But
we'll say this ad nauseum when it comes to old school events. But you could play any deck well and still lose if you don't draw well.
Absolutely.
So luck is you have to be hot. You have to draw the right cards at the right time, or have like the right opening.
Let's just put it this way: you can't be lucky and play poorly and win a tournament.
Right.
You can't not know what you're doing and win a tournament, even with luck. So,
Danny, I think what Andy's saying,
take some credit.
You must have also played good Magic on the day.
Yeah, my basic strategy was try to play good cards and try not to lose.
Try not to lose. That's a good strategy.
Still though, man, like threat assessment, like how you, especially when you're playing a burn pile like that, right? It's like really, really important. Like when you use
when to aim at their face and when to aim at a creature.
Yeah.
And it's always a corner. It's always not always a tough call. It's often a tough call. It's like, they're at 12. Do I aim this 4 at them, or do I aim it at their dib? The side blast rather. Like, do I aim it at them? Do I aim it at the dib? What do I do?
Sure.
I think another thing I did was like often when I'm playing old school, if I feel like I've lost the game or I'm losing the game, I'll just scoop. And I didn't like tilt
Insta
scoop.
scoop.
Yeah, I just kind of every time I was like, I'm just going to play it out, and just if I can win, I can win.
Yeah.
There were a couple games I remember where like I was thinking to myself like normally I would scoop here, but I'm just
Right.
kind of especially with the double him, like I think normally I would just be like, all right, let's just go to the next one,
Right.
but I was like, no, I'm just going to play it out, just kind of try to fight through. So I think that was another thing I did a little differently than usual. Um, Honestly, the venue being really chill probably helped me too, because like it wasn't like a brewery where you kind of have sensory overload. Like
Right.
there's a fairly chill environment.
It didn't feel
Um,
sweaty. If it doesn't feel sweaty, I just talked about this with we just had France on like talking about NoobCon, like just like having elbow room or like
yeah,
room to breathe or like having a good environment while you're playing. It makes it so much different. Like as a player for a lot of people at least who weren't like you know PTQ fucking grinders or some shit like that don't care about that stuff. For those of us who like enjoy our Magic and play the games, like it does make a big difference having a venue and like a space where like you're comfortable playing for sure.
yeah,
Right.
yeah. That definitely made a difference. I think the venue choice we settled on was good. I got to be honest. So I hadn't been there. Ferrero and Rob had gone like to organize it, and I like that night like I hung out in the garage with Pete, and I think we just bullshitted, and because I was like I'm not driving to some fucking place and seeing what's there. I don't care. And the day of the tournament, I actually drove past it like 4 times because I was like, where the fuck is this place? Like I'm driving because it was just like a
Is it like a
really
nondescript place? Yeah.
yeah, yeah. It doesn't say. I think it said like a little sign that said like Polish National Hall or something. But the building
Like a little
looked like
tiny
run down.
arrow.
Yeah, the building looked run down. It didn't look like there was any parking. I didn't see any cars. So I kept like driving past, back and forth. And finally, I called like Pete's son and was like, "Dude, where the fuck is this? Where am I going?" And he like dropped a pin, and I was like, "I'm here." And he's like, "Just pull in the driveway." I'm like, "There is no driveway." It's like, "Just trust me, just pull." And so but once we got in there, I was like, no, this is actually like a pretty cool place. It was run down, and all, but like there was something very, very old school about it. Like I remember back in the day, like in when I first started playing Magic as like a kid in Boston. There were a lot of like Knights of Columbus Hall tournaments. They were probably just run by like teenagers or like people in college or whatever, where you just show up and play like your shitty starter deck with like an extra hippie thrown in or something. And there were a lot of those, so it was very reminiscent of that, which I thought was pretty cool. I remember doing like an Ice Age. I don't think it was a pre-release because I think it was like after Ice Age had been out, but like an Ice Age tournament, one of those where like I think we all like brought a starter from home and they gave us 2 packs or something like that, and then we like built a sealed pool and played it out. So
Nice.
like yeah, so like the venue was very
It gave you
nostalgic.
those vibes. Yeah.
Yeah,
I think that's yeah. Hopefully you guys keep the venue for next year. It sounds awesome.
I think that's the discussion.
Yeah.
I think it's I'm not the decision maker there, but I think that's the discussion that's happening. Is like
Yeah.
this worked out better than we expected. Let's maybe look at coming back there. And it was also cheap as hell. I think the rental fee was like $400.
Well, yeah. Anything you save, the more you save, the more it goes to the charity. So that
Right,
benefits
which is what we're there
everybody.
for.
Are you going to plan on any other events this year? Any?
I don't know. LobsterCon, I think I'm going to.
You'll be there. Okay.
Yeah, that's I forget when in October, but it's sometime in October, right?
LobsterCon September.
Oh, there you go. So I'll definitely be there.
Yeah.
And I don't know if I'm really planning on anything else. I work full time. I actually work 2 jobs. I teach and I work at a library. So
Mm-hmm.
2 jobs.
Yeah, I basically work 2 full-time jobs.
Jesus Christ.
You're gonna
so I
have
don't,
you're gonna have a little bit
Isn't
more
one
time during the
enough?
summer, right?
Yeah, I do. I do
Okay.
have more time in the summer, but I don't know of any real tournaments going on in the summer.
Um,
Well, yeah.
no,
There aren't any.
There's a thrash bass.
There's
Right?
some. There is
Thrash,
Yeah.
yeah, yeah. Thrash bass is in your wheelhouse. So like,
there's an invite tournament
I don't
coming up. We
know.
could talk about it offline, but
whoa, whoa,
whoa.
whoa.
Um,
Um, but
but
yeah,
yeah, I mean, so I don't have as much time for Magic as I used to, But I
Sure.
still like to play. Like every Friday, like I said, maybe not every Friday, but like 3 out of 4 Fridays, I meet up with these guys. And like I said, we mostly play kind of our own homebrew 60 pools, where like I said, we draft, we keep the cards. Every year we start over with like a new pool. So like for Christmas or New Year's, whichever like meetup it kind of falls on, we'll all bring like 4 packs and we'll do a chaos draft, and that's like the start of the new pool. And then every couple of weeks we'll draft, and whatever you draft is added to your pool, which is kind of interesting because then it's like this tension of like, am I drafting? There's a good card for the deck I have tonight, but there's a good card for the deck I'm building in my pool.
these are
Which one do I take?
modern cards.
Yeah, mostly.
Okay.
Um, and it's often kind of this tension of like, well, which one do I take? I usually will just take the better card for that night, but I think the other guys will often take the better card for their long-term pools, which might show that my short-sightedness there. But it's a lot of fun. We've been doing that for a couple of years, and it's always a blast. And like I said, we also have these old school 60 pools where a couple times we've built sealed decks out of old school cards, or done a draft, or done I think we've done a completely sealed. I think we did a combo of draft and sealed, where like you had a starter deck and then you drafted some packs, and I think then the other one was like completely sealed. Um, and the last one we did was a couple months ago for Pete's birthday, and I brought a. It was the rules were any pre-modern legal set essentially. Um, so like I brought Tempest. Um, I think Pete did too, and some of the other guys, one of the other guys, I think brought like, I don't know.
Right.
What was the invasion set? The Phyrexian invasion sets. What was that called? Apocalypse.
I wasn't playing during that time.
One of the guys brought that anyway, and then the other guys brought like fourth edition. And my Tempest deck sucked, but the people who got the fourth edition decks did pretty well. And then we
Yeah,
built kind of
Apocalypse,
a
Plane
living
Shift,
pool out.
Invasion.
Yeah, there you go. And then we
That,
kind of have
that's fun though. You just
yeah,
like,
it is,
you know,
and you kind of always tinkering with it. You're always kind of like, because the pool is so small. Like we've been doing it for like 3 years, and I think that we have like 120 cards or 140 cards or something. So the pool is tiny, and you're just kind of always like making these kind of really small adjustments that are really turn out to be really impactful.
Hmm.
Because the pool's so small. So that's mostly what we do most Friday nights. Or a lot of times we just there's a lot of Friday nights we just talk for 3 hours and play 2 games. Also.
That's fun.
Yeah.
Cool. I think, unless you think of anything
This-
else, I think we have covered a lot.
Yeah.
this is just mainly for me and also for Annie. We're always interested in what interesting decks were played at these events. So like while you guys were talking about whatever you're just talking about that I was zoning out to, I did send you some links to some of the Danny was nice enough to get us invited to the Kumite Discord. So I did send both of you a few deck picks. If you wouldn't mind just indulging me. The first one I sent at 10:28 p.m. What I was telling Andy about is Cresco's deck pick.
Oh, the elephants.
Yeah. So Cresco, who is just an absolute monster at building decks that are bizarre, but often do well. This one did not do particularly well, but this will This will appeal to fellow Sisters of the Flame. Andrew Rezer's sense of romance. So this pile is a blue-white. He's got 4 War Elephant, 3 Swords of Plowshares, 1 Time Vault. I love just putting a Time Vault there just for value because he has Twiddle in the deck. But
why not? Right?
1 Time Vault, 1 Doppelganger, 3 Clone, 4 Disenchant, 4 Navinral's Disc, 3 Counterspell, 4 Twiddle, 1 Chaos Orb, 1 Recall, 1 Balance, Ancestral Recall, Mana Drain, Brain Geyser, Time Walk, Sapphire, Soul Ring, 4 Elephant Graveyard,
So he
4
just win with
Factory,
Elephant?
1 Library.
I guess so. Yeah, he just
Pearl.
wins.
Black Lotus, 2 City of Brass,
And a Caracas.
4 Tundra, 5 Islands. I can't tell what the altered.
What, is that a balance? No, that's not a balance. I don't know.
No, it's an altered. What is this? No.
Strip mine, maybe?
It's a basic planes.
Oh.
Yeah, it's basically.
And then
Yeah, I guess he
sideboard,
probably just wins with the
Sarah,
elephants.
King Suleiman, 1 Northern Paladin, 2 Psionic Blast, 2 Order of Viper, 4 White Knight, 3 more planes just when he has to get more double white, and another counter spell.
People just keep trying.
Carrasco, this deck is hilarious and terrible, and I'm so glad you played it. Jesus Christ, what a mess. I think the next one here that I think Danny earmarked as the White Weenie deck.
Yeah.
Love to rattle this bad boy off. I don't have the player because I had to copy these as just
Wasn't
image
this
files.
Dave? I think it was.
Yeah, baby.
What is he doing?
It's white weenie-ish. So
Yeah.
he's got 4 land tax, 2 swords, 2 remove enchantments. I love
What is
that.
remove enchantment?
It's not even white weenie, right? Because he doesn't have any weenies except for the orders.
No. This is like, what the
That
fuck
is wild, man. Witch Hunter?
What? Yeah. What the fuck does he have? A remove enchantment? I guess for a consecrate land. Wait. Let me read this deck list off. This is insane.
What is it? Is that removing?
Andy, please overlay this one. Jesus Christ! I'll start this over again. 4 land tax, 2 Swords of Plowshares, 2 remove enchantments, 2 mana vaults, 4 disenchants, 2 witch hunters, 2 moat, 2 Ivory Tower, 4 Sarah Angel, 2 Order of Viper, 2 Consecrate Land, 4 fucking Wrath of God, 1 Caracas, 1 Balance, 1 Soul Ring, 2 Armageddons, Chaos Orb, Pearl, Lotus. And then his mana base is, I love this, he played the fucking storage lands from Fallen Empires. This is like, what is it? Ication. What the hell is that? Ication?
The storehouse or something, yeah.
Yeah, Ication, whatever the fuck. 4 strip mines. I can't tell what altered shit he has. I think they're all planes. So, like, I think it's 5, 10, 14 planes. And then listen to this shit.
The sideboard.
His fucking sideboard is 4 White Ward.
3 healing cells.
3 healing salve, 3 black ward, a green ward, a blue ward, a red ward, a dust to dust, and a preacher.
This deck is insane.
So the remove enchantments are to save his own consecrate lands?
Yeah. It's probably to pull back. It's probably to pull back his consecrate lands, or maybe to pull back his moats or land tax to prevent them from being disenchanted.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's wild, man.
Sex. Absolute sex. Whoever built this is a evil genius, but that sideboard Holy shit! What the fuck? I've never seen anything like that before.
What is he doing with the ward? I mean, I guess it's kind of better than cop, right? Because like
Yeah. He's just he's protecting his value creatures from literally any color that could remove them, which like I kind of get, but it's so stupid. But it's
perhaps
so
he's not running
it's,
like Rigmaroof or something.
yeah. It's cool. It's cool to see, but Jesus Christ, what a train wreck! But God bless the man for building the deck. So the next one here that I decided to pull up.
This is Jay's deck.
Yeah. This is Jay. I think his name's Chris.
Look at that. See more moats.
Yeah, dude, moats for days. Everyone out here has moats for days. So we got library.
I guess we know where they all are, huh?
Yeah. They're all in the fucking Midwest. We got library, 4 strip mine. We have 5 basic islands, 5 basic plains, 1 city brass, 4 tundra as a mana base. Then we got obviously blue white. Ancestral 1/4 spike, God bless. Looks like 1 land tax, balance 3 disenchant, 4 dib, 1 brain geyser, soul ring, 4 swords, time walk, 2 copy artifact, 4 prodigal sorcerer, 2 moat, all the mana rocks like lotus, all the mox, chaos orb, mana drain, time twister, 2 thunder spirit, and 3 Sarah angels. So it's kind of like blue white flyers, except he's got 4 prodigal sorcerers.
I guess the prodigal sorcerers are just for the knights, the pump knights.
And they still do damage with the moats.
Yeah. It gets you your value back from taking all the damage from your own Serendip Efreets, I guess.
I tested with this guy, and I remember the 4 spike fucking wrecked me because I'm generally using all my mana. I'm not holding back. I don't run any counter spells. The only thing I'm running was one.
Sure.
One troll you mana drain.
Spirit Link might be great in this deck.
Spirit Link would be huge.
He should play one in the sideboarders at least.
So the last one I sent, I could only send a link because the file was so big that I couldn't actually copy it. But it's Ben Rebel's Reanimator deck. And Ben is a whore for Reanimator, but this one in particular is kind of fun. So he's got all the mana rocks, soul ring, chaos orb, 3 blue power, recall, mana drain, brain geyser, twist, tutor, wheel of fortune, balance, 1 fireball, 1 wheel of fortune, 3 Sarah. He's got, the only reason I'm doing this, he has 3 Rasputin, which is just so sexy, 4 trike, 4 animate dead, 3 Swords of Plowshares, 3 Disenchants, a library, 4 Bazaar, 4 City of Brass, Caracas, 1 Underground Sea, 3 Underground Sea. That he has multiple versions. Like, Ben, get your shit together and get the same dual lands. 3 Tundra, 3 Scrubland, and a Volcanic, and I think they
1 strip.
one strip.
I find it funny that the only Reanimator deck probably plays the only Tormod script in his sideboard.
Right.
As if there's going to be another Reanimator deck.
He's going to have to worry. But actually, one of my buddies, Tully, does run a Reanimator deck. So I guess he did have to worry about another Reanimator deck.
No, I mean, I'm half kidding. Tormod's script is good against other decks, but for the most part, it's funny to see.
It's great against the actual deck, but it's funny how underused that is. But it's also interesting in a Reanimator main deck that he put the 2 All Hallows Eve in his sideboard. So his sideboard is 1 Crypt, 2 All Hallows Eve, 3 Beb, 2 Spirit Link, a Swords, 2 Wrath of God, a Disenchant, 2 Divine Offering, and a Dust to Dust. And I know both Revel boys are big signature guys, and he's got both,
everything signed.
He's got both sigs. He's got the sideways and the bottom sig on Wrath of God by Quentin Hoover, which is just so sexy. That's like signature heaven right there. He's got both Hoover Sigs on his Wrath of Gods.
Yeah.
You know, as I'm looking through the deck list, I do notice a lot of guys are not running many strips.
Yeah.
A lot of guys only.
Yeah, it's not always. I guess it's not always right, but
yeah.
I mean, there's a fair amount of these that have 4 strips, but it's interesting to see who elected and like what deck archetypes elected to play either 4, 2, or 1 strip mine for sure. Because like, you know, those of us that mostly play like 1 strip formats out here on the right coast, 4 strip to us is just a total waste of time. So it's interesting to see people that play 4 strip all the time to not have just auto include 4 strip mines in their deck.
This guy in there's one guy, the Stumi.
Yeah.
That might be the last deck I faced. Now that I'm looking at it.
Okay.
I think this was my last opponent.
Stumi.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Yeah. Here, hold on. Let me copy this.
I remember his altars were interesting. Or his proxies. So this I should have mentioned earlier. This was completely proxy friendly. You can proxy whatever you want.
Awesome. Yeah, that's great. As it should be. Although often it's not, because people get butthurt because they spend all sorts of money on cards and I just put it in the group text here.
Yeah, I think this Stumi guy was my last opponent. Now that I'm looking at his list.
Yeah. So his deck is almost entirely fucking fake cards. He's got 2 Juzam, a Solkanar, a Senger Vampire, a Royal Assassin. I think 2 Order of the Ebon Hand, 4 Hypnotic Spectre, 3 Sedge Troll, a Control Magic. Are those 3 Psyblasts at the end?
This is not the greatest deck layout.
I think this is the last guy I played, because I remember the Fallen Star, and I remember he had discard. I think this is the guy.
Yeah. So I can't tell with the 3. Andy, can you tell with the 3 cards next?
The one behind the Brain guys. I have no idea.
I'm gonna assume they're Psyblast, but like it looks like there's a lot of text on the 1 card, so I can't tell. But anyway,
one's a mana drain.
Oh yeah, mana drain, and then maybe 2 Psyblasts. But anyway, he's got 4 Hit the Turak, Demonic Tutor, 4 Bolts, a Shatter, Fireball, and then the rest of his deck is just fucking mana, which is crazy. Like, Jesus Christ, he has so much land in this deck. Like, what the fuck? He's got.
I mean, he was doing well since you played him last round.
Yeah. So. No, absolutely. But like, holy shit! Like, lot of mana. He's got all the rocks except for Pearl, and then Chaos Orb, Soul Ring, 1 Felwar Stone. He has beautiful altars. Like, Chaos Orb is really sweet. 3 basic swamps, 4 strip mines, 4 City of Brass, 4 Badlands, 4 Volcanic Island, 4 Underground Sea. His deck has almost no cards in it.
Nah, he's got some good stuff.
It's good that it was proxy friendly.
No, this is definitely it's a very interesting take on Disco, because he's got his sideboard is 3 Nev Disc, 4 Gloom, 3 Reb, 2 Terror, 2 Shatter, and a Falling Star. So it's not really Troll Disco. So he's really trying to lean on the card disadvantage with the 4 hymns and the 4 hippies. Yeah, but he's only got 1 main deck Shatter, so he's not trying to blow up artifacts that hard. So he's like leaning into the discard, and
not a lot of people play a lot of artifact removal main deck.
Yeah.
Even white players who's splashing white, they're only playing like 3
disenchants. I don't know, dude. I looked at a lot. Most of these decks that played white have 3 or 4 disenchants. So like I don't know, but
granted, this is EC, and you don't see that many Suchis. So
yeah, that's fair.
Probably a thing.
It's interesting with 4 strip, right? Like I don't know, Danny. Like you probably play more than most people, and you shoot it in your list. But like Crumble must seem bad because it gives your opponent life, right?
Yeah,
Like you
Crumble.
don't.
I mean, it depends on what you're playing, right? But in my deck, it's fucking terrible. Because I'm trying to, I'm trying to kill you fast, and often, I'm winning at like 5 life, and I think bolting you for your last 3 or something. So
Right.
if I crumble something, it's terrible. I mean, yeah, a Mox or something would be great, but like, I feel like crumble would be awful.
Play one of detonate.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah, there you go.
That'd be great. Yeah.
It's something I noticed just like casually cruising through the deck photos from this event that like even people that played mono green literally don't play any number of crumble at all.
Yeah, I think it'd be terrible. I also think, I know in a control deck swords is great, but I think in most non-control deck swords is also atrocious.
Sure.
And I think also counterspell is pretty atrocious. Most of the time, there's the times when you counter their key card or whatever. But most of the time, it's just rotten in your hand.
Right.
And you will counter something just for tempo. So like, I don't know. Those are 3 cards like I think aren't that great. Like whenever I see a white weenie running Swords main, I'm kind of like, what are you doing? Like I get it in the sideboard, and especially like against a Juzam or something.
Yeah.
But like main,
I feel like you need to have like 1 or 2 just to remove like like you said, like a Juzam or like an early Dib or Ernie that's just gonna like beat you down. But like
right
in that deck, like you don't want to be giving away life because like you're trying to like White Weenie is basically a burn deck, right?
Right.
So like you want to get every ounce of value from every damage that you can do. So I agree with that. So it's interesting to hear your take about that style of deck and what cards are good or bad in that idiom because we're just not subjected to it as much. But it is interesting to see when you have the kind of variance of deck lists here. To see like what we talked about earlier with like the amount of strip mines, but also what cards are less played that would in other formats are like considered excellent that are not played at all in a 4-strip format.
A lot of people playing 4-strip down here when I showed up. I'm slowly trying to convert them into not doing that, but we'll see. All right, Danny, I think I want to thank you for joining us today. Again, congratulations on your victory and great performance. It sounds like a great event. Awesome to all the guys that ran it, and maybe I'll see you next year at the Kumite if I'm.
Come on.
If I'm, I mean, I got some family out in Detroit, so. Isn't too far away.
Danny, and you thought this was going to be fucking terrible, but I thought it was quite a fun and interesting podcast. So thank you for joining us.
Jared likes to talk trash and likes to instigate. So I would not believe anything he says. But
I'm glad we did this, and like, congrats on your win, man.
Thanks, man. Cool. It was fun. Yeah. Don't hold out much hope for me repeating that success, but it was fun. It was good.
Maybe in a couple years you'll. We'll have you back on after you win a tournament.
Corollary: you still owe me a beta tranquility, you giant piece of shit.
Dude, I offered to buy you a beta tranquility so many times. You're like, no, it's cool. And I'm like, all right, we're cool. You're like, yeah, we're cool. I hate you, piece of shit. And I'm like, dude.
He just wants you to be in his debt. He wants you to be in his debt.
I literally don't care at all, but I will never stop bringing it up.
Next time I see you, I'm going to bring you a fucking beta tranquility. I'm going to get Lupo to alter it, actually.
If you give me a beta tranquility with a giant dick on it, I will trade you all sorts of cards for it. That would be amazing.
I think that's what I got to do. Is I got to get you a beta tranquility with a giant cock.
The river, the end of the river, like going towards the
my
card,
goodness! Just
yeah.
That's what we got to do. That's what I got.
All sorts of. All right. With that note, I think we're gonna end it. Thanks again,
All right,
Danny.
man. Yeah.
All right,
Good job,
Jared.
Jeff.
Yeah.
Goodbye.